I would like to welcome you to my ICRA 2020 virtual presentation on the InSight Crutches, analyzing the role of arm support during robot-assisted movements. My name is Florian Haufe and I work at the Sensory Motor Systems Lab of ETH Zurich. Today's presentation is based on a recent paper in the IEEE Robotics and Automation magazine and was performed in collaboration with the G-Lab at EPF Lausanne and Mile Swiss. When we look at wearable robots today, a variety of devices for movement assistance is available. On the one end of the spectrum, we have rigid exoskeletons that can completely replace lost function for individuals with a complete spinal cord injury or in severe cases of stroke. For people who do have some residual movement capacity left, softer, more lightweight wearable robots have been proposed. Examples include the MyoSuit here and the Restore device that target a device population in case of the MyoSuit and hemiparetic stroke patients in case of the Restore. Towards the other extreme end of the spectrum, fully implanted neurostimulation devices have been proposed that can bridge the gap in the spinal cord internally and allow individuals who have lost walking function after an injury to regain control of their leg muscles. So what do all these wearable robotic systems have in common? Let's take a more model-focused look to answer this question. Here we have a human who transfers some energetic input to a desired mechanical output, for example, walking. Disease, injury, or aging might prevent that individual from achieving the desired mechanical output. As we have seen, wearable robotic devices can help to, again, achieve that desired function, say walking, by inserting additional energy into the system and carefully shaping a bidirectional physical interaction between the wearable robot and the human. However, there's one more component in that system that is frequently overlooked upon, but nonetheless very important: a passive mobility aid. It also allows for a bidirectional physical interaction with the human user and provides an additional mechanical output channel from this human-robot system to the outside world. And this is what we're going to focus on today, understanding what role this passive mobility aid plays in the combined human-robot system. And as we see, all of those various systems rely on additional crutch support or cane support to allow for the desired mechanical output. And understanding this role will help for better benchmarking, for more systematic investigation of different device modes, say controller modes, and ultimately help to understand the overall assistive benefits of wearable robotics in diverse scenarios. So what do we need to understand the role of arm support in wearable robotic assistance? We need something that is untethered and robust enough for field use. We would like to use this device along with wearable robots in real-world scenarios, just as any other regular crutch. It should be easy to reproduce, such that different research groups and end users can use the same device with consistent results. Based on the characteristics of the interaction between the user and the crutch, we will need three-dimensional force measurements to achieve this goal. And I have added some more detail here on which you will find more detailed rationales in the paper. But in brief, we are looking at force ranges of up to 1 kilonewton in the axial direction and of about 125 newtons omnidirectional in the shear direction plane. And for sufficient accuracy, we are considering 1% of the full measurement scale to be a target requirement. When we are looking out in the field what is already available, we see that so far devices have addressed selected subsets of the presented requirements. Here, for example, we do see an untethered, potentially quite robust device that unfortunately does not measure 3 independent force axes. Here in another setup, we see a very elaborate device that does measure 3 axes with sufficient accuracy, but is perhaps not robust enough for field use and is also a custom-made lab device, which might be hard to reproduce. In other work, we see very precise, standardized lab-based devices that do have a cable though, and external amplifiers, so you do need to drag a cable behind you, which is fine for indoor lab analysis, like here, but does perhaps not reflect the increasing use of wearable robots in real-world unstructured environments. To combine all of the different requirements in a single device, we have developed the InSight Crutches. In short, they use a piezoelectric 3D force sensor at the tip of the crutches, whose signal is then amplified and converted to digital and wirelessly transferred to a receiver unit, which processes the received data for recording on a standard laptop. This system is fully self-contained, can operate on a battery charge for over 3 hours, and allows for convenient recording in both lab environments and outside real-world settings. And here you see what the system looks like in applied use, pretty much as any regular crutch. And in this scenario, there was a static receiver set up somewhere behind us, and we had plenty of range to walk up and down this track without moving the recording unit. We further systematically verified that the InSight crutches meet our aforementioned requirements. As you have just seen in the video, they are untethered and potentially robust enough for field use. We do measure 3 axes at 100 Hz and up to 1 kHz if we use them inside a lab with EtherCAT. And we do see force ranges in 2 modes, up to 929 newtons, or up to 3 kilonewtons in our second large load or peak load mode. Crucially, we have also done a detailed system verification against an independent ISO certified reference, which shows that along the main axis of the crutch, labeled as T3 direction in the middle picture, we achieve an accuracy of 0.38% full scale, and perpendicular to that in shear direction, an accuracy of 0.94% full scale. Thus, we meet our aforementioned requirements and provide a system that combines the untethered robust field use capacity with lab quality measurements. Next, we wanted to evaluate the role of arm support in various robotic assistive scenarios. In a first scenario, an individual with a spinal cord injury and an implanted neurostimulator walked with the stimulator turned on and turned off. There was additional support from a multidirectional gravity assist robot. We see that when the stimulation is turned on, arm loads are generally reduced. Vertical forces are lower with stimulation on, and also mediolateral stabilization efforts and anteroposterior propulsive efforts through the arms are reduced. In the second scenario, we analyzed the role of arm support during sit-to-stand transfers with and without assistance from the myosuit. What we see is that the myosuit reduces weight bearing through the arms and also reduces mediolateral stabilization efforts. This is primarily because the device allows for faster sit-to-stand transfers while peak loads stay approximately the same. Nonetheless, the total crutch impulse is dramatically reduced when assistance is turned on, and hence the overall load on more proximal joints as the shoulders. In a third scenario, we have analyzed the role of the arms during outdoor walking with and without assistance from the myosuit. What we see is that walking speed increases on the right-hand side with assistance activated, and that the perceived exertion is also lower. What we would not have seen without the InSight crutches, but did record now, is that also the total crutch impulse, particularly on the left-hand side of this individual, is dramatically reduced when assistance is turned on. This is an interesting finding that would not have been accessible without instrumented crutches. In conclusion, we can state that arm support is an important part of robot-assisted walking. The InSight crutches allow for an accurate quantification of arm support in diverse scenarios. And in these scenarios, we have seen that neurostimulation unloads the arms and that the myosuit allows for faster sit-to-stand transfers while peak loads are similar compared to unassisted transfers. Finally, we have seen that the myosuit unloads the arms during outside walking. These 3 exemplary scenarios are just the first step towards a more systematic investigation of the role of arm support in robot-assisted walking, a challenge that is now much easier to tackle given the new technology the InSight crutches offer. Thank you.